of.
We think video, which where the space we're in now is video, it's not photograph. Well, it's photographs, but it's video as well.
Yeah.
And we think that that space is going to greatly increase the opportunity for people to buy without looking at it. You know, Peter, we're running a bit short of time now, but I just want your thoughts, sort of to wrap things up. The iPad, we've talked about it off air, but the significance of the iPad to this whole equation of social media, of business online. You know, what are your thoughts?
So I work at Deloitte, and we've got about 4,500 employees. What I've noticed since the release of the iPad, one, all the executives at Deloitte, I don't know, they must have made a pact and given them all one. They are running around, and these are sort of 50-plus-year-old people running around as though it's the greatest.
The young ones.
Yeah, the greatest thing that's ever happened to them. And I know that the head of consulting is sort of reasonable on technology, but he said to me, you know, the thing about this, on the ad they said you know how to use it, and it's true, you do know how to use it.
Yep.
It's not like a computer. The other thing is, when you turn them on, they're on. So unlike a computer where you have that 3 to 5 minute wait of things to boot up, and lights flashing and impatiently pushing buttons, these things just respond instantly. They're also much more portable. So we're seeing a real demise in desktop computers. People don't really buy desktops that much more. Buying laptops, but then we're all carrying around these heavy bags with 3 kilos of metal and electronic components on our shoulders. The iPad, very lightweight, so easy to use, always on. It's got all those location-based features. I think it's a game-changing device in the way that and we've often talked in the world of computing, what we call the sort of human-machine interface was pretty hard. Apple are designing great devices, but more importantly, they're designing systems in a way that just make it so easy to use, which is why these things are going ballistic. And that's the other thing. We're finding our staff are buying their own iPads and coming in and using them instead of the laptops we're provided for work. And we think that's a good thing. Yeah. Because if you find it easy to use one of them, knock yourself out.
The other thing that I think has happened is it's merged personal with business without conflicting.
Yeah, for sure.
So, for example, in my portfolio, we've moved all of the TOOP materials being moved onto the iPad for our guys and for consumers, and but all the personal photographs. When you're on a plane, your videos, everything's in one tool, or your music. And I think, from my point of view, I'm starting to. This is it. Like
my life is in this device.
So I'm not, and I'm not trying to promote the iPad. That's not what we're on about. What we're on about is this device. If I scripted a device that would change the way people view property, this is what I'd script. This is what I'd script. Because you can go to a cafe and you can just flick through it. You can have it sitting in the car and go, gee, wonder, let's go and look at some properties, darling. When you're, not thinking about it, 3 minutes before, and you can hit one button and it'll find all of the properties that are near you, and then it'll take you there.
And you think of the way that we used to do it before these sort of portable mobile devices. We would go onto a real estate portal, and you'd put in
Fight your way through,
and then you'd try and print out something on a Google map, and it's sort of a bit weird. If you're taking your laptop with you out, and your laptop doesn't have GPS and all this sort of stuff.
When it shuts down, it takes you 3 minutes. The moment's passed. You would have looked at 4 or 5 properties while the thing's booting up.
And on this thing, if you've got it, there's, that's an interesting property. Let's jump on and have a look. And I think it's really moving much more to this sort of notion of what we've called location-based services, and it's really changed the way things work.
So, Peter, just to wrap up, and I'm sure that the Apple people would be watching this program. Send us a check for all the advertising.
So if you're watching this, Matt Brennan, who runs iPhone and iPad in Australia, and a mate of mine, Matt, I'm going to send you this, and I reckon you owe TOOP a beer at least.